What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Living Freed channel. My name is Tyler Freed, and today I'm running through the great state of Nebraska, and I'm headed over to Salt Lake City, Utah. I got a load out of Kansas City, and it's going to Salt Lake City, so that's pretty cool, honestly. I've never been to Salt Lake City. I've been to the border of Utah, but never actually been to I've never been through it, so I've never actually been to Utah and actually seen the state, right? And so I'm kind of excited about this, and this is one of the major reasons why I chose Crete as the company to go to, right? Because, like I said in previous videos, they go all 48, and I'm going to get to see states that I've never been to. Like, I get to go through Wyoming today. I've actually never been to Wyoming, so I get to drive through that. I do hear a lot of horror stories about high winds and stuff like that, and how bad it is in the wintertime, but luckily it's summertime. I don't have to worry about any of that. I could run into some high wind, I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. But you know, it's going to be kind of cool to go through Wyoming and get to see that part of the country. So maybe I'll make some videos of me going through Wyoming and also going through Utah, because I do know both of those states are very beautiful in a lot of areas. So I'm kind of excited about this run. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be kind of talking about and going over trip planning. I'm going to be talking about how I think through a load. Whenever I get dispatched on a load, I'm going to be talking about basically the importance of thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead with every load that you get, so that you're able to maximize your time out here as a truck driver, right? As an over-the-road truck driver. So basically, okay, before I get to that though, if you're new to the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description below. Go follow me, I'll follow you back, and make sure you watch the other videos too that are recommended to you at the end of this one, and just stay tuned till the end. So anyway, basically trip planning. Okay, I'll go through the load that I got right now, and I'm going to go through the load I got right now to explain to you how I think through every trip that I get, okay? Because every load is different. It really is. Every load is different. But on every load, you do have to think 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead in order to maximize your time, okay? So basically, I got dispatched on this load Saturday morning, okay? And I know, okay, this is the beginning of the pay period. So I got dispatched this load out of Jefferson, Missouri, was where I was at. And I had to deadhead all the way over to Kansas City. Now, in total, the mileage on this load was 1,260 miles total. So deadhead and then loaded miles. All together, I have to travel 1,260 miles, okay? And I had about 7 hours on my clock, because I'm running recaps. I had about 7 hours on my clock to deadhead over there, pick up the load, fuel, do all the things I needed to do in between picking up and picking up and getting loaded. And then I could run off some of those miles, basically, once I'm loaded. And so when I got this load, like I said, I had about 7 hours on my clock. Well, I needed to take about a half hour off of that for fueling. It takes about 30 minutes to actually get into the truck stop, fuel, get out of the truck stop. Okay, take 30 minutes off of that, and I have 6.5 hours, okay? Now, it was 2 hours to drive over to the pickup over to Kansas City from Jefferson. It was about 2 hours, actually a little bit more. So if I take 2 hours off of that 6.5 hours, I'm at 4.5 hours when I pick up, okay? But the good thing is from where I picked up, it was like 1,140 miles from Kansas City to where I'm going in Salt Lake City, okay? 1,140 miles. Well, I know that when I get there, by the time I get loaded, I will run off about 30 minutes for dropping and hooking and stuff like that. So when I get there, I'm going to have about 4.5 hours left. And then I'm going to have to take off 30 minutes for my on-duty time to drop and hook and get out of the shipper, right? And so, and it really kind of worked out to that, I had about 3 hours and 50 minutes left when I got loaded, okay? And so I knew, okay, I have 1,140 miles to run this load. Now, the delivery in Salt Lake, I could deliver anytime between today, as I'm making this video, Sunday, all the way through Tuesday at midnight going into Wednesday, right? It's an open-ended appointment to deliver. As long as I make it between that time period, I'm on time, right? So that's absolutely awesome, because now I know, okay, I can get it there as fast as I can, right? Well, I know, okay, if I have 1,140 miles to run, and I actually had like 10 and a half hours coming back today, so that's great. That's almost a full day of running. It is a full day of running, because today I knew, okay, all I'm going to do today is drive, and sometimes going to roll over from yesterday into today, so I'll really have more than 11 hours to run my shift today. So anyway, so basically I had 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 50 minutes. I'll just say 3.5 hours. I had 1,140 miles to go. The next day I get 10 hours and 50 minutes back, and then the next day I get, I believe it's like 9.5 hours I got back. So I know, okay, if I can run like 3 hours off of this, if I can get the mileage basically down under 1,000 miles, okay, then I know, all right, if I get it down under 1,000 miles, I'm running across I-80 wide open, and the trucks here at Crete are governed at 68 miles an hour on the cruise control, okay? So I know it's going to be a straight shot on I-80 until I hit like past Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm not going to hit any mountains. It's basically going to be just 68 the entire way. So if I run a full, let's say I run 10 hours, and if I get it down to under 1,000 miles when I have 3 hours left, okay, and you basically factor in, okay, every hour you can run 60 miles. So if I knock 180 miles off of that 1,140, then I'm down to close to 950, which is what I got it down to. I was able to run a little bit more than 180 miles yesterday, and I was able to get it down to like 950 miles. So that's great, because I know, okay, the next day, I almost get a full 11 hours back. So I can run at least 10 of those hours before I have to start looking for a place to stop. And if I can do 68 miles an hour times 10, I run 680 miles off of the like full thing, off of the full trip, right? And so, because I'm down to after I run out my clock with 3 hours left, I'm down to 950. If I run 600 plus miles, I can almost get it down to less than 300 miles for Monday. And my goal is to deliver on Monday and be ready for another load on Monday with like 4 or 5 hours left to run some miles off of the next load I get. See, some people will say, oh, I can deliver by Tuesday. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to stop and do stuff. Well, you don't want to do that. You want to get it there as fast as you can with as much time on your clock as you can the day you're delivering, so that you have time to go pick up, get loaded, and run a couple hours off of that load so that you're headed in the right direction. See, because it's 1,261 miles that I'm starting with on this week's payroll. That's a good run to start out, right? Starting out on Saturday, deliver Monday morning, and then if I can get another 1,000 plus mile load, if I can deliver that by Wednesday, because the cutoff is Friday for the payroll, if I can get another 1,200 mile load and come back east or wherever they send me, and I can deliver that by Wednesday morning, and then get started on that third load Wednesday after I deliver, then I'm ahead of the game, right? I'm ahead of the game, and I'm going to be able to clear 3,000 miles, easily clear 3,000 miles by Friday at midnight. And you just got to keep moving. The point is you got to think ahead, right? This is a great start to the week. I don't need to waste time. I don't need to take my time. I need to run this load like I have to be there. I have to be there Monday. 100% got to be there. It's open-ended. I could get there Tuesday, no problem. I could stop at their terminal in Salt Lake City and hang out. kick back and relax, but I'm not going to do that, because I know that if I do that, if I don't run my clock down, if I don't maximize my time, and basically just get ahead of the game by hustling. That's all you got to do out here is hustle, and you got to think ahead, right? Because I can't just think about the load that I'm on right now and getting it there on Monday. I need to think about, okay, I need to get it there, and like I said, have time to pick up and run off some miles off of the next load. Because most likely tomorrow, which by the time you see this video, it's going to be a Monday. So, but tomorrow, today's Sunday as I'm filming this video, tomorrow they're going to send me a pre-plan before I get to where I'm going. And I'm going to be able to plan my next move before I even get to where I'm going, right? And that's going to be amazing, because let's say, okay, I run it down to like 300 miles today, right? I run this load down to 300 miles. I got 650 miles that I drove today, because I had 950 starting out today. If I run 650 miles off the load, I got 300 miles. Okay, well, let's say that's about 6 hours, maybe 7 hours running through the mountains. So I'll at least have 4.5 hours, let's say I have 4 hours by the time I drop and hook, get an empty or whatever. So let's say I have 4 hours after this delivery on Monday. Well, that's enough time to go drive over to wherever I'm picking up the next load. And most likely here at Crete, they like to limit your deadhead miles. And if they have a terminal in Salt Lake City, I know that they're going to have loads out of Salt Lake. So I'm probably going to deadhead somewhere in Salt Lake, which isn't going to take much time. Take an hour off of that to deadhead over to wherever I'm going, pick up, do the drop and hook or whatever it is, or live load. If I have 2.5 to 3 hours to run off some miles off of the next load, I could maybe run off 100, 120 miles off of the next load and get headed in the right direction. And that sets me up for a very good week. And see how I'm thinking way ahead? I know I'm on this load, but I'm thinking way ahead. And for those of you that are drivers, experienced drivers, you know about what I'm talking about. This is mainly for people that are just getting into the industry. And a lot of the people that watch my channel have started out at Millis, or they're just getting into trucking and things like that. So that's who this video is for. You got to think 4, 5, 6 steps ahead to maximize your time for the week, right? And eventually you're going to get so good at it, you can just do it on the fly. You can do it on the fly, and you're going to kill it. If you do these things, don't stop the truck. When you get a load like this, where it's just cross-country, wide open, do not stop the truck. You should stop the truck maybe twice all day. Honestly, once you start that 8 hour, like, once you start your clock, once you start driving, okay, you got to do like a 10-minute to 15-minute pre-trip. Once you go on duty, do 10 to 15 minutes on duty. But once you start driving, you have 8 hours until you need a 30-minute break, right? Only stop one time within that 8 hours to go to the bathroom, and then after you go to the bathroom, run it down till your 30-minute break. On your 30-minute break, that's where you want to eat. That's where you want to, well, you have to stop, right? Or if you can make it to your fuel stop, like today, I'm going to make it to my fuel stop and take a 30-minute break. Okay? And then after that, you don't stop until basically your day is done, until you run out your clock, right? Let's say you run it that, like you run 7 hours until you take a 30-minute break. You're going to have 4 more hours to drive after that 30-minute break. Okay? Because you get 11 hours to drive every day. You can run at least another 3 hours after that 30-minute break before you need to stop. So you should stop a total, when you have a drive day like this, across country, wide open, you should stop a total of 3 times the entire day. Seriously, that's what you should do. If you want to make the most miles, if you want to maximize your time. So anyway, long story short, that's pretty much it for the video. I mean, I just like to explain basically how I do things. Maybe there's people in the comment section that would like to add their 2 cents in how they run their day. But this is how I think ahead, strategize on every load. Okay? And you have to do this in order to make a lot of money in trucking. There is a strategy to this. There is a trick to this trade. And time management, and I've made a video about time management, but time management is the number one thing in this business, period. As a truck driver, you have to be very disciplined and manage your time and be thinking 4, 5, 6 steps ahead in order to make a lot of money. It doesn't matter what your rate per mile is if you're not getting any miles because your habits are bad, right? I mean, yeah, that does play a huge part of how much money you make, okay? I mean, if you're making 70 cents a mile versus 50 cents a mile and you're running 3,000 miles a week, okay, obviously you're going to make way more money making 70 cents a mile. But if you're making 70 cents a mile and you're only getting 2,100 miles a week, and that guy running at 50 cents a mile is getting 3 to 3,500 miles a week because he's doing what he's supposed to do, he's actually going to end up making more money than you. He's going to have to work harder for it. I mean, yeah, rate per mile matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. You do want to get the highest rate you can possibly get. But my point is if you're lazy, you're not going to make any money. I don't care how much they're paying you per mile. Okay, and I'm going to end with that. No matter what company you're at, there is money to be made. At every single company out here, you can make money. You've just got to be willing to do what the majority of the people are not willing to do. You've got to look for all the opportunities out there. Okay, I just came from a company where if you want to make 6 figures, like Millis Transfer, that's who I drove for before Crete, for those of you that are new to the channel. Millis Transfer, you can make well over 6 figures if you become a trainer. That's how you make 6 figures there. Most people are unwilling to do that. Well, okay, if you're unwilling to do that, don't complain about not hitting 6 figures at that company. That's how you make that kind of money. At Crete, where I'm at now, in order to make 6 figures, you have to run consistently. You can't take a whole lot of time off. You're going to have to run all the time. You're going to have to stay on the road and get the miles. I get paid a lot higher rate per mile as a solo driver here than I did at Millis. That's why I came here. But the point is you have to figure out how to hit all the bonuses at your company. You have to do what 90% of the people are unwilling to do in order to make the most money. And what I just said to you in this video, basically trip planning and stuff like that, thinking multiple steps ahead, that is absolutely vital to your success as a truck driver. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you stay tuned till the end of this video, I really appreciate it. And I would appreciate it once again if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, and also stay tuned for more videos that are going to be coming up in the future. And God bless. Have a great day. Peace out.